I love that song. That is summer vibes. Electronomia. Alright, guys. Welcome back to the Icy Lair podcast. I'm going to be your host for this episode 6. This is going to be the state of ice for November 2021. This is the episode where we recap everything when it comes to the stuff that I'm interested in, that your guys are interested in for the month of November. I am definitely excited for this for this episode. I love these end of the month recaps where we get to see how bad the movies did, some of the games that came out, and kind of the way forward. So definitely looking forward to that. But there's something that I want to highlight. So kind of two things happened in November. So me as a content creator, I hit two interesting milestones that I will share with you guys here in a second. I just need to bring up the channel. So in November, we hit two milestones thanks to your wonderful community. You guys rock. Over on my model railroading channel, we hit one of the videos was able to hit over 1K. So that is the first milestone. So we'll go ahead and we'll look at that here. If I can navigate here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look on this. All right, so over on the Mythical Railroad channel. So if you guys don't know what this channel is all about, I am big into the model railroading scene. And one of the videos over there just hit 1K. So this little guy right here. I would probably have to thank the algorithm. It kind of pushed this video to obscurity. So we got 1,037 views on this channel. So it's definitely a first milestone to have one video on all four channels actually reach 1K. And that one has just been kind of blowing up. So, and kind of a couple more videos on it that kind of celebrate the engine, my 1K view. Thanking you guys for watching those particular channels. And then the other milestone I want to talk about is we will go ahead and look at Twitter for this next one. So, about a couple weeks ago, we did the Triple C with the lovely, the Geeky Crochet, and kind of shared off a picture here with kind of the things that we showcased for that particular stream. We had the unlocking lore. You know, I created the paper crafts from EFAP, and then we also had our high rags, and also kind of a little bit of a spoiler alert. I did get Mauler in, and I probably will do that on the next Triple C, which I am excited for. But yeah, it was great. It was a great stream. I think it's the most viewed one. I have to double check on the Endless Collectibles channel. And then I also got the high rags on the turntable from my Endless Collectibles channel. Now, I was really happy to see on today's EFAP, or I think it was 163. I'll have to go all the way up here. They did a memes episode, and it's had a whole bunch of, 163. They had a whole bunch of pictures that they were showing of everyone getting in their rags in. Shout out to Mauler. Look right here. That is my rags on the turntable being featured in EFAP, and that was just humbling to say the least. And I was so thankful for Mauler. But then this is where the milestone kicked in. Today on the EFAP, the entire collection was also highlighted in their podcast on Every Frame of Pause. Highly recommend go watching them on the Mauler channel and Mueller channel. But I want to show you guys a highlight of their reaction to this. So I was really humbled by this. So this is the premiere episode from the meme fap that they had with the collectibles. Here we go.
Oh my God, right? Look at you in your element here. Just.
Oh my goodness, we have Sailor 5. We have Sailor. We have Queen.
Sailor.
Queen Bear.
I love that. I love rags. That's just Sailor 5. I love how he's just trolling with it. I'm 100% sure that he's trolling on this, but it's just great.
Barrel. And
Queen
a barrel,
Bean.
that's like a little. That's like a what's it called? It's like a.
And sorry, I forgot to hang on. So let me. Okay, let's do this. me rewind it just a little bit here.
Crab was
that
fucking
Aaron?
great.
I thought Grandpa did it.
Oh my god, right.
Grandpa,
Look at
Grandpa.
you in your element here. Just
Oh my goodness, we have Sailor 5. We have Sailor. We have
Sailor.
Queen Barrel. And
Queen
a barrel,
Barrel.
that's like a little. That's like a what's it called? It's like a little stone, a little cool looking rock, right?
And look, there's even little papercraft you and Mooler.
yeah.
And that's
Right
right, there is. It was underneath Sailor 5. It's in the Sailor Moon Funko Pop.
Hiding away in the corner there.
On the
Yep.
way.
And that was it. So another milestone reached for my content. Again, shout out to the Geeky Crochet. Shout out to EFAP and Mahler and the whole crew over there. Those guys are awesome. Greatly appreciate that they're doing this not only for me, but for the entire fandom out there. And it's really, really humbling to see that they are promoting this type of stuff. So definitely a great milestone, to say the least. So was really, really happy when I saw that on their podcast. I was giddy. I'm not gonna lie. I was giddy. I was excited. I captured the screenshot of it over on Twitter, and Mahler has a beautiful soul. What can I say? And the guys at EFAP over there. So yeah, highly recommend. Go watch their cast over there. It was such a great time. All right, so let's get to the main event. Let's go ahead and look at the recap for November 2021. We're going to take a look at box offices and take a look at the money that was earned. All right, so this is by the numbers. So last month for the State of Ice, we looked at the end of October 29, and we were talking about Dune to see if Dune can potentially maintain its hold at number one. Needless to say, I don't think it did. So we're going to take a look at November 5th. So obviously the internals came out, so it kicked down the number one from Dune, and Dune dropped 50%, which it kind of goes to show kind of the state of the economy a little bit. Word of mouth kind of didn't go well for this movie. Again, it's just one of the many, many variables. But yeah, dropping at 50% to second place, and then the Eternals came out and took number one. Take a look at the next week in here, November 12th, and the Eternals clipped number one with 33 million on its opening day, and then also dropped 63%. We'll go into that here in a minute. Clear for the Big Red Dog came in at 19 million, and then Dune came down to 10.5. No Time to Die at fourth, and then Venom rounding up the top five. So the Eternals. So when it came out, it seemed to be kind of strong, but then that second week drop of 63%. Ouch. I think, to my understanding, it needed to make somewhere between 300 and 500 million just to break even. I'm not sure if it's going to. Well, it hasn't, because spoiler alert, it's made a total gross of 124. Let's go on through the week here. 142. So the Eternals dropped again another 47%, and then Ghostbusters Afterlife came out with a strong showing. I think it also needed to make between 71 and 75 million to break even. I don't think it's going to happen, because November 16th dropped, and I think Enchanto came number one. I could have sworn I just saw. Let's see here. The latest update from the 26th dropped. Let me see if I can find that number here real quick. November 26th. Yeah. So when you look on November 26th, Encanto here was able to squeak by Ghostbusters. And Ghostbusters lost minus 41%. Now, I think this is because of the economy. Probably because of, the virus and everything with this new whatever variant, insert random thing here variant came out and kind of probably had an impact on that. Again, it's all speculation. I don't have any evidence to really prove that that was the solid case, but I think it's just another contributing factor that kind of dropped it down to 41%. And then this movie, I haven't heard anything about. It's another Disney movie, I think. Let's see, who made this? Yeah, Disney. So another animated flick. I don't know anything about it. So, yeah, we'll see. And then that pretty much rounds everything out for November. So, again, the state of the economy, it's going to be something that's going to be a player coming up into December. And especially with Spider-Man coming out, which is getting... I do not want to watch it, but I've been talking so much smack about it that I got to put my money where my mouth is. And I will go see it. It'll probably end up being a... So, normally what I do, I try to do a dinner movie on my birthday because it's coming up on December 21st. And I'm probably going to see Spider-Man then, or I'll watch something else. But I will watch Spider-Man that comes out. Again, I have so much concerns about Spider-Man. But we'll see. We shall see. But I highly recommend Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was a good movie. It felt a little bit long, though. There was some times that I did feel myself tuning out a little bit. And there was just too many characters. I think that was the main thing. Ricky over on Twitter and After the Weekend podcast said it pretty well, and some others on there, that what they were talking about on that podcast, that and I think it was Rogue Disney that also said this as well, that they needed to focus more on the family aspect, and I 100% agree with that. They were focusing too much on kind of the love story that was there, to give a little bit of finesse to it when it comes to just love and so forth and all that. But yeah, they should have focused more on the family dynamic, because they had it all there, but it was just, they didn't close it 100%. But it did one thing that all these other movies haven't done at all, and that's respect what the previous movies did. So the fact that they actually respected the previous 1 and 2 Ghostbuster movies and did not do a lick of announcing from the 2016 version, I was really happy with that. So, but yeah, that is pretty much the box office for November. So let's go ahead and take a look at the movies that came out. So here's basically all of the entertainment that came out in the month of November. So I'm just going to scroll through here and we'll talk about some of the things that were most notable. House of Gucci, I heard some interesting things about it, but again, never really got into it. Ghostbusters Afterlife, you guys know what I thought about it. Good movie, highly recommend it. All these other ones, let's see here. Don't know too much about it. So I came close to watching Clifford just because I was in the mood to watch a movie this weekend, but I decided not to. Decided against it. Because I wanted to wait for my next movie to be Spider-Man. Let's see, what else do we got here? Again, really nothing too much staring at me. Come on, next page. You can do it, computer. Okay, don't know nothing too much here. Let's see. Second Time, The Princess, okay. Yeah, nothing that really stood out. Again, I go through this because it just kind of shows you the state of entertainment. Again, this is only from my perspective and the things that I have seen via, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, colleagues, work colleagues, friends, just to see what the word of mouth is. And, I haven't heard much about any of the stuff that came out. Let's see. What else came out? So I'm trying to... There are a few things that got some notoriation. But I need to find it. Let's see. Filthy Animals. Nope. Cyberpunk. Okay. Interesting. Secret Santa. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. Dracula's. Alone Time. So I've heard a few things about 8-Bit Christmas. I think it was kind of mixed. from the small sample size that I have. Let's see, what else do we got here? Becoming the GOAT. He is a GOAT. You can't deny that. Tom Brady is a good quarterback, probably the best quarterback of all time. I think it's kind of undeniable at this point. Trolls, meh. Didn't hear too many good things about Trolls. The elevator, okay. Yeah, it's just a whole lot of just nothing, you know, just. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So there was two basically. There was another one that came out, and that was wonderful. I mean, I don't want to say wonderful, but that was the lackluster of He-Man. Now, I'm not really big into He-Man. Was it He-Man Revelations that came out? The part 2, essentially. Yeah, it's not even here. Probably because I'm in the movies. But yeah, so He-Man came out, part 2, and just as we all thought, it was just a clusterfuck. Bait and switch, Skeletor. There was some, from the scenes that I found on Twitter, it was, I want to say it was slightly disappointing to see that they once again starting to berate another character. I don't care if it's an evil character, it's a well-known character that they've destroyed. And it's just, what else? What else are they going to do to these characters? I want to see if I can try to find a picture for you guys. But I don't think I have it saved. No, it's got a lot of other things saved. But yeah, it was disappointing to see that they've once again berated another franchise. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Here's kind of another topic, but I will go into that after we talk about the video games that released. So, games that released in November 2021. And this was, again, kind of a cluster. So, Call of Duty Vanguard. I've heard it's mostly positive when it comes to Vanguard. I heard and seen some gameplay. Again, shout out to Lightning, so I saw some of his gameplay and coverage over on his channel. That the zombie mode, horrendously bad, glitchy. The AI was horrible. But I think as far as the other multiplayer options, it was pretty good. So this was again another World War II shooter brand of Call of Duty, and features alternate history. So if that's your thing, go for it. I kind of got burnt out on the Call of Duty and Battlefield franchises. I'm more of an original OG. I grew up with Battlefield 1942 and the original Call of Duty. So yeah, I prefer those ones. Let's see, Forza Horizon 5, and don't care too much. All right, so definitely the most controversial, I think, of the month. We've got Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definition gets a digital remake. So, if you could say that, in my opinion, this is, again, one of those remakes that was a cash grab for Rockstar. When you look at some of the comparisons of the individuals that they quote-unquote remastered, it was kind of horrendous, to say the least. And then you've got all the shady business practices that Rockstar is doing right now, that you can no longer get the original remastered versions of these particular games because they want everyone to buy the remastered. They don't want to buy the old one. So that's why you got to buy the old ones, save your physical media, because companies are trying to go digital so that way they can control it. Again, there's a lot of things that were censored out of this. And then also from the modding perspective, they are trying to block the modding, which is a whole nother story in itself. So again, I highly recommend. I mean, if you want to get it, get it. I can't stop you from the power of choice. You guys have that choice to buy and not buy with your money and so forth. But I recommend just stay away from it. If you have the original copies, just play with it, you know. Battlefield 2042. So this was another one that is highly frowned upon. So I understand what EA was trying to do with this. They were trying to go back to the bare bones of Battlefield. Because again, going back to Battlefield 1942, it didn't have all those, bells and whistles of like communication and waypoints, and they had a leadership board on there, so you can see where you're at. But Battlefield was trying to give more with less. So from my understanding, they didn't do a leadership board. They don't have a lobby. They don't have a lot of key features that a lot of people grew up with Battlefield having. And so the best way I can describe it is if you guys watch a show called Top Gear back when it was good with Jeremy Clarkson and all them, they said it best. A Porsche, you buy, it's like a six-figure car, but with Porsche, it's like everything else that you think is standard comes as an quote-unquote optional extra. Like door handles, you would have to pay extra for door handles. You get this little piece of cloth to open up a Porsche 911, and all these other features that you think will come standard. Well, that is the analogy I'm using here for Battlefield 2042, is that the things that we're so used to having that is quote-unquote standard in a video game that we've grown to see, especially when it comes to a first-person shooter, you don't get. And that's why a lot of people are like, ooh, I like those features, and now they're gone. They're just going to play the old ones, Battlefield 4, Modern Warfare, and so forth. So a lot of mixed reactions when it comes to 2042, mostly negative. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. I haven't heard too much about the new Pokemon games coming out. I am definitely a big fan of Pokemon. I've got Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. And then now we've got the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. If it's like Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, then I would definitely recommend getting it. I'll probably be getting it in the future and doing a Let's Play on it. But, yeah. If you're a fan of Pokemon, you're probably going to like this. It's a safe purchase is the best way I can describe it. So, Final Fantasy 14 got their new expansion coming out on the 19th, which just came out. Now, what's interesting about this is that I am actually doing the trial version right now because I want to see if it's something I want to get into. Testing the waters on this one. There'll be more to come on my gaming channel on it. So, we shall see. We shall see. Okay, so some of the other games that came out, we got Giants Rising, World War Z, Conway, Time Loader, Just Dance, Don't Care, Burr Cards, obviously Vanguard, and you guys can continue to see a list here. Once again, freaking the Elder Scrolls continue to try to be on every single platform possible. I'm pretty sure they'll find a way to get on your phones for crying out loud, so considering how expensive and powerful our phones are becoming. But, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Game & Watch, Sherlock Holmes, obviously 2042, and so forth. So, kind of a weak month for video games, in my opinion. On the indie side, there really wasn't anything notable as well. Yeah, really, it was just Battlefield, Vanguard was kind of the two big ones, and then obviously Grand Theft Auto, which is kind of not doing that hot right now. But yeah, it was definitely a weak month for November. So hopefully in December there will be other better games coming out. So we shall see. We shall see. Cool. All right, so that is pretty much it when it comes to the month of November. So really, for movies, it was Ghostbusters Afterlife was really the big movie for me that came out. The Eternals, I think, just was a hot pile of shit, in my opinion. All the reviews were bad, and it was just not a memorable thing, which, when it was coming out and was announced, I was wondering what the heck it was to begin with. So, yeah, needless to say, just not the greatest. And then video games, like, yeah, it was a meh. If you're a fan of Call of Duty, sure, you got your Call of Duty. If you're a fan of Battlefield, you got another Battlefield. Rinse, recycle, repeat on the video game aspect. So, yeah. not that great. But so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and that pretty much ends this segment for November. So that's pretty much the icy state for November when it comes to like movies and games and so forth. And again, my personal channel, 2 milestones that were hit. One being that we had one video hit 1K, which again, thank you guys so much for watching all my content. I try to be variety as best as I can, as practical as I can get it to be. So greatly appreciate all you guys' support on that. So, and can't wait for next month. But with that, we're going to go ahead and transfer over to some interesting news. We're going to talk about my wonderful topic that I like talking about, and that is space. So this is pretty cool. According to the latest in space, astronomers in India have discovered an exoplanet. Again, I'm sorry. English is always a struggle for me sometimes. Larger than Jupiter that orbits so quickly, a year lasts only 3 days. Can you imagine rotating around the sun in 3 days? That is absurd. Because it takes 365 days for us and only 3 for this new exoplanet they discovered. Awesome. Looking at SpaceX. So this is the launch or starport or starbase is what they're calling it. And this is in Texas. And you can see that they got this little crane thing here. That is, I think, Mechazilla, I think is what they're calling it. I always forget what the heck they call this. But yeah, it's designed to capture the booster for their Starship program, which I can't wait for them to try this out. Again, in January, we will get the first orbital test of Starship for SpaceX over in Texas, which I cannot wait. I hope everything continues to go according to plan. So we'll talk about those in a minute. So another cool thing that SpaceX did this past week was over in Vandenberg Space Force Base, SpaceX launched the DART mission satellite. So really exciting because this is our first conceptual test to see if a satellite can push the direction or the momentum of an asteroid away from Earth if it was deemed that an asteroid was on a collision path towards Earth. So the whole intent behind this is that they're basically going to ram a satellite, kamikaze style, straight into an asteroid. And I think the second part of that test is it's a 2-part test. One, can they physically cause a delta V change in the asteroid to see if they can move it into a different direction. The second part of that, to my understanding, is that this one asteroid is orbiting another one, and I think they're going to see if they can collide one into the other. So it's kind of a 2-part test. So I can see any space launch from Vandenberg because I literally live like 20 minutes away from it. Unfortunately, I slept through this launch. I had it ready to go, and yeah, went on the bed and just passed out. So I wasn't able to see this launch, but I'm glad that, again, another historic moment in space to see if we can actually redirect an asteroid. So excited for that. So this was another one that I wanted to share. So this one's pretty darn cool. So we got a NASA rover over on Mars. We got a couple. And this one was able to capture the sound of wind on Mars. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. I'll crank it up. That is cool. To be able to hear sound from a different planet that excites me. And the fact that we've got these little droids taking samples for us, being able to give us video, being able to give us sound now from a different planet. Kind of cool. And here's another random fact. Mars is only populated by robots. But yeah, that's so cool. Another one of the DART missions. So this one's pretty cool. So this one, if you guys don't know, we have a giant telescope in orbit of Earth. It's called the Hubble Telescope. And, the whole purpose of it is to look deep into space without having the atmosphere of Earth affect the photography, that we get clear and deep photos of the Hubble Telescope. Now, the problem with that is it has an expiration date, because with the retirement of the space shuttles from the US, it's really hard to maintain the Hubble Telescope. So when it dies, it's eventually going to die and deorbit and burn up into the Earth's atmosphere. But we have a replacement telescope that's going up, and that's this guy right here. So this is the NASA's Webb telescope. It's going to be targeted to launch on December 22nd. Cool, one day after my birthday, which is awesome, to allow additional testing. So what happened was there was a significant, quote-unquote, significant event that happened, that there was an unplanned release of the clamp that secures the spacecraft to its rocket adapter, and it sent vibrations throughout the observatory. So something happened, something failed, and they had to go through its tests just to make sure that everything was good to go. Because you can imagine there's some really delicate pieces of equipment here, like the mirror and the lenses of the telescope and everything. So I'm glad to see that, to my understanding, everything is good to go. They did all their tests. They had to reopen the telescope just to make sure everything was good to go, and actually go ahead and commit to December 22nd. So I'm excited for that launch. And I think that one's happening in the French Guiana. And the reason why it's down there is because when they go to launch, you want to be as equatorial plane to, or as center to the Earth as possible, because then you use less fuel to get into orbit, equatorial orbit. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch my Kerbal Space Program series that I'm doing over at my gaming channel, and that will kind of show you a little bit more what's going on with that. So yeah, that is the new NASA Webb telescope that's going to be going up. So this is another statement that, again, Starship will enable humanity to transport large amounts of mass and people anywhere in the solar system, which I am excited for. I cannot wait. The fact that we could potentially see this in our lifetime, I'm really hoping we can. And the wonderful International Space Station showing off its beauty with the aurora lights over the northern hemisphere. So beautiful. Space just fascinates me. It's great. And then another thing that kind of highlight here is that NASA plans to install an ultra-long wavelength radial telescope inside the crater of the far side of the moon. And that looks like from the comment here, the Lunar Crater Radio Telescope concept was awarded $500,000 this year. That's pretty cool. So without disturbances from Earth's atmosphere and other radio signals, a radio telescope on the far side of the moon will be able to see further into the universe than any on Earth. So hopefully this becomes a reality. We did have like a telescope in Puerto Rico, but that unfortunately met its demise and collapsed on itself. And I think NASA announced that it was unrepairable. So hopefully this one can get developed and created on the moon, so that way we don't have to worry about it. But again, kind of conceptual right now, but that'll be awesome to say the least. So all right, so that is pretty much everything about the space. Two things I just want to highlight. This one disappointed me a little bit, because I was a huge fan of Benedict Cumberbatch. And unfortunately, he bent the knee. So Benedict Cumberbatch calls out toxic masculinity. Says, "Shut up and listen." BS, because again, you guys have the power of choice. That right will never be taken from any person. Benedict Cumberbatch is supporting King. We all need, whatever. While promoting his latest film, Power of the Dog, the 45-year-old actor spoke about, man, he's 45. Wow. We need to fix the behavior of men, the actor told Sky TV. "I think in a world that's questioning and ripping into and finally pointing out the inadequacies of the status quo and the patriarchy, it's more important because you get this sort of rebellion aspect from men today. This denial, this sort of childish defense position of not all men are bad," he added. It's like, no, we just have to shut up and listen. Shut up and listen. You are an adult pretender telling your fan base to shut up and listen. Yeah, that was really disappointing when this article got kind of blasted out there. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you gotta separate the actor from the character, and it's like, you know, if I wasn't so invested in Spider-Man and wanting to see Tobey Maguire in it, I probably wouldn't go see it, and this would have tipped me over to not watching it. But again, I'll still watch Spider-Man just for the sake of the review and say it was good or bad, or yes, there are the 3 Spider-Mans in it or not. But yeah, we'll just have to see. Kind of sad. And then one more thing I want to highlight. Good old It's a Gundam kind of retweeted this. So Netflix Cowboy Bebop isn't supposed to be good. The live action adaptation sins are numerous, but sometimes you gotta flow with the music. You see a trend here. They're telling us what to do. They want to take the power of choice away from the consumer. One thing I want to check here is, how is Cowboy Bebop doing on good old Rotten Tomatoes? Let's take a look at that rating, shall we? And we'll also take a look at Ghostbusters as well. Oh, and there was another show that came out this week that we'll talk about. It's just reminded me. Okay, so this was Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, still pretty crappy. So there it is. Still out of 48%, 53% for the average adult score, or audience score, excuse me. So, yeah, not doing that hot. Again, just watch the anime, watch the manga. You guys it'll be fine. It's finally gotten to the point that I don't want anything adapted to live action. Just not worth it. Just not worth it. Okay, let's take a look at the other one, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, look at that. 63% to 95%. It was a good movie. Again, there are some issues with it. It's not a perfect movie. It was just a good movie. Meaning that the characters, you can relate to some of the characters. None of them seem kind of crazy, far-fetched. Yeah, the writing needs some improvements, especially towards the second act. The second act needed to focus more on the family instead of the relationship aspect. But that third act, that third act is good. It really came together in the third act. All right, let's take a look at another one that came out this week, and that is Hawkeye. 86% for Hawkeye. That's surprising. That is very surprising. 86%. Let me check something real quick. What was the percentage for the Rise of Skywalker? %. Huh. Okay. So, Hawkeye, Eternals. %. Okay. Well, at least it's believable. Well, I mean, I don't want to say it's believable. It's more of, they're not obviously showing that they're buying off reviews. What's another one that we can look at? Let's look at Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay, 82%. I don't know how to spell this. Just there we go. Let's see it, Loki. 90%. Okay. Well, I didn't care for any of these. I saw the first episode of Loki and said, nope, I'm done. Saw the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Nope, I was done. That actually pissed me off. Like, the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier was when I want to watch something to escape. When I was watching the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the scene that really irked me was when the main character, I forgot the freaking name of the main character, but when him and his, I guess, partner went in to go get a loan from the bank and it got denied, that really tweaked me a little bit, because, you know, those are things that you don't want to be reminded of, because everyone has gone through the process of trying to get a loan for either a car or for a house or whatever they needed to get a loan for. And it's like, it's triggering. And it's like, I want to watch a show to escape from that. I want it to be enjoyable. That's what I pay for. And if I'm not getting that, then I'm not going to pay for it. So, yeah. And considering some of the reviews I've been seeing on, again, all the social media platforms that I watch, and it's just not for me. A change of pace, nothing spectacular, enjoyable fun. First 2 episodes, good and fun. I'm speechless. It's wow. Stories about 2 average people. Much needed is a universe full of superheroes. Why would you give that a 5-star? I don't get it. Huh. Yeah, I have no interest in this. This reminded me from the trailers of, like, Jingle All the Way a little bit. Vibes. A little bit of Home Alone, which, speaking of which, the newest Home Alone came out. I don't know if Rotten Tomatoes has that. Let's see. Was it this one? No, it's 2012. Oh, Home Sweet Home. Hey, there it is. It's not even Home Alone anymore. It's Home Sweet Home. As you can see, it's complete garbage. Complete garbage. This actually came out this month, too. Only an hour and a half length, too. Wow. 18%, 13% audio score. That's atrocious. That is atrocious. Garbage. I don't know any of these actors either. Let's take a look at some of the reviews. So, this really shouldn't be hard. Find a cute kid, and they have in the form of Dr. Rabbit's Archie Yates. and then string together a few coming impulses ways the injure of another human being. Is a very odd duck, a movie that basically replicates the 3 decades old Home Alone template, but in no way feels slightly weird or ill-conceived. Oof. Wow. Oh, the legend lore of tangerines made it to the freaking Rotten Tomatoes. Look at this. Home Sweet Home Alone is surprisingly entertaining, if unwholly unnecessary. A sequel, a tangerine, where we expected to find a lump of coal. Oh. Oh my goodness. I kind of need to clip this. Hang on. That's great. That's let me see if I can grab this here. All right, we're going to save it. Okay, let me take this over here. Let's save this. I kind of I want to tweet this out. A tangerine. We're expected to find a lump of coal. Oh, that is great. Oh, man. A tangerine. Yeah, that's great. The wonderful lore of the tangerine. Yeah, so. That's great. That is great. Well, guys, that's pretty much all that I really had to talk about for this episode. I love doing these episodes. I love recapping all the latest and greatest and just the shittiest of the month. It is definitely worth recapping and just going over things that we may have missed during the month. But next month is going to be a special one, because next month, not only is it going to be for the recap for December, we're going to do the recap of the entire year. And that is going to be fun. Let's take a look at the calendar here so we can mark our calendars. So that is going to be December 25th. So that is going to be Christmas Day. That's going to be Christmas Day. Let me just double check, make sure Christmas is 25th, because sometimes I can just be an idiot. Yeah, 25th. That's going to be cool, because the 31st lands on the Friday. So on Christmas Day, we will do a live stream. It's going to be very special. It's going to be the end of December State of Ice. It's going to be the best of 2021s when I give my awards to like the best movie, the best streamer, the best podcast, the best music, the best of whatever we can make up. And I invite you guys to also come join us if you want to. I always leave a link in the description for my Discord, so that way you guys can come on and talk. But yeah, Christmas Day will be the State of Ice for December, and also the best. We'll probably put the Icy Awards as well for 2021. So considering what a year it was. But yeah, I am excited for that stream, because I love doing the end of the year recaps. That's something that is kind of a tradition for me. So, but with it, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Icy Lair for the recap of November 2021. You guys can find me with all of my content down below, from from the Endless Collectibles to After Dark to model railroading to gaming. You guys are awesome. I'm going to try to get back on the manga reviews. I know I've been slacking on that. Yeah, that's the best way I can put it. I've been so tired lately with IRL work and everything that I've fallen behind on my manga reading. So I'm going to try to catch up. I bought a whole bunch of manga this weekend thanks to Black Friday, and I'll kind of show those off at the next Triple C, which follow me on Twitter. You'll get the latest update on when the next Triple C is going to be for the month of December. And I will showcase all of those goodies. I've got a lot. But with it, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everyone. And wing hugs, as usual, wing hugs.
Well,